Hey guys, so this video is gonna be a departure from my usual stuff, and you're all probably wondering where I've been. I'm deeply sorry for the lack of videos for the past 2 years, and I know I promised to make more animations in my last video, but the truth was I've kind of moved on from animations. For the past few years, I've been busy with the army, and then in uni learning about game design, and now I'm working at an indie studio as a game dev, leading the production for one of its games as its main game designer and game lead. I know a bunch of you might have been waiting for my next animation, but the truth is, I'm kind of burnt out with solely making animations, and I found new passion in game development. In particular, I like designing game systems and mechanics, coding them, and sometimes animating them. And I've been spearheading a new indie title called Ritual Chambers for nearly the past year or so. I know this might not be the news some of you wanted to hear, but if you're interested in joining me in the next stage of my life, and possibly leaving behind the Minecraft animations as I have, I hope you stay for the rest of the video and maybe hear out my new game. Again, I know it's a huge departure from what you guys are used to from me, but this is what I'm passionate about now, and I can promise more content from this than I can about from animations. So, Ritual Chambers, what is it? Well, Ritual Chambers is a high-octane action FPS roguelike. It mixes fantasy with a somewhat indie take on FPS mechanics. You're a ritualist who delved into hell. Now the catch is that your main weapon isn't a staff or a wand, it's a gun. And you're not just shooting a gun and casting spells separately, you use them in conjunction. Now in Ritual Chambers, your guns fire your spells. The spells scale with your gun's damage and can vary based on what kind of gun you're using and what spells you're casting. There's an okay variety of spells in the game already, ranging from elemental spells to spells that summon bones to spell constructs, and I have a lot more planned. Some of them are just buffs, some of them interface with other mechanics, like kicking.
Why you bully me?
Some of them are full-on rituals that affect creatures within them. The game takes place in hell. I know, very original, and follows the path of a ritualist trying to reinstate ritualism back onto the world stage as a magic system. Now that's the lore, but we're still figuring out how to expand it and implement it into gameplay. The game features progression mechanics, learning new spells, new rituals, fighting the residents of hell, find new guns, rinse and repeat. It might not be the most complex or the deepest gameplay loop, but really, the main fun I want you guys to enjoy is exploring the magic systems, making builds, and seeing what guns fit which spells best. Despite all I've shown you guys, Ritual Chambers is still pretty early in its development stage, and there's still a lot I want to do with the game. Tentatively, we have early access planned for the end of the year, and we have a long way to go really. There are more levels to make, more enemies to design, much more spells to code and design, can you tell is my favorite part of the game, and lots of iteration and bug fixing ahead. Seriously, bug fixing, lots of it. You know what they warn you about being a YouTuber? It's the burnout. I used to think it was a myth or something, but nah, it's true. I got burnt out. The stress and expectations pile up and kinda start to overshadow the passion I had for animating, that I started neglecting my animations. I couldn't mindlessly drop myself into the work anymore. I wanted to do something where I could create, possibly something to use my art and animation skills. After some searching and advice from friends, I went with game design and haven't looked back since. I fell in love with coding, with designing unique game mechanics, with making pretty VFX, and sometimes with animating the enemies or environments and stuff. I told myself to go back to making Minecraft animations numerous times, if not for y'all, but also to rekindle something that I spent years working on, like this channel. This took years to make, and I didn't want to just let this fall by the wayside after working on it for so long. But in the end, I had a lot more fun making game projects, and it was a lot easier to code than to bring myself to open Cinema 4D again and animate. It felt new, it felt like walking into a room full of new puzzles and challenges and things to learn, and lots of god-awful bugs to fix, but you take the bad with the good, huh? Ritual Chambers is my latest project and also one of the biggest I've worked on. Uni didn't give us a lot of big projects, so you would see a lot of me in it. Being able to craft every bit of it, from the design to the art to the programming, it's really satisfying, and that's what drew me to it over animations, where I only got one slice of the metaphorical pie. I like creating. I like making something pretty and nice to look at, but I also like systems and fantasy and crafting and experience. Plus, like I've been saying, I always get to animate every now and then, so I guess if you want to see more of my animations, you can expect some of those animations in Ritual Chambers to be made or altered by me. Although I also do have a fellow animator who is helping out with a lot of the enemy animations. You know, it's a lot of work to do in one game. I can't do everything, but hey, some of the animations by me. So yeah, TLDR. I'm not going back to Minecraft animations, but I'm not getting rid of the existing videos. Following this video, I'll start making devlogs about ritual chambers with the help of my colleague to edit these videos. I hope you guys will stick around with me and follow the development of my newest and most ambitious project since Modded Griefers. I hope to see you guys around.
So if any of this sounds interesting to you, I hope you guys would head over to Steam and wishlist Ritual Chambers. Early access is slated to come out late this year, and I hope you guys will look forward to it.